So in part two of this AI investing series, we are going to talk about the different categories of AI companies that are available and which ones are there in India, what are the best investment opportunities and the best stocks to invest in this industry. So let's look at the different categories. So basically there are six main categories. One is foundation model. The second one is infrastructure hardware, infrastructure software. There is vertical AI software, horizontal AI software, and then we also have AI enabled devices and robotics. So let's look into each category in detail. So the first one is foundation model. If you look at different foundation models, for example, take ChatGPT, Anthropic, Grok, but all these are traditional AI models which use LLMs to build different foundational models. So this model will be provided with a lot of data. So text, images, speech, structured data, unstructured data, 3D signals. So much data will be fed into it for training. So once it is trained, it will be able to answer questions, do sentiment analysis. It can extract information. Even it can do image captioning. It can even recognize objects and do instruction following. So overall, the first category is a foundation model. Let's see if there are any stocks available in India in the foundation models. So right now there are no publicly listed companies in India that are building foundational models. In fact, there is no company in India right now just building any foundational model. So if you look at the market share from foundational model plus model management platform, so Microsoft has 39%, AWS has 19%, while Google has 15% market share. OpenAI, ChatGPT has 9%, Anthropic has 4%, and others have 11%. So all this is how the market is split right now in terms of foundational models and model management platforms. So in India, what is happening? We do not have any foundational models right now. Are there anyone who is building it or trying to put in efforts? Yeah, so Bangalore-based AI startup Sarvam has been selected by Indian government to build India's first LLM. So it is under the India AI mission, under the unique initiative. They'll get all the resources needed to build a foundational model based out of India. So we have a lot of foundational models coming from USA, Europe, China, and many other countries, but not from India as of now. So the potential is very high considering India's growing tech talent pool and government initiatives that are promoting AI research. So let's look at category two. So category two is infrastructure hardware. So to run all these AI products, LLMs, you need a lot of infrastructure. You need proper data centers, you need semiconductors, you need power systems, you need AI chips. All of that is needed because the computing power is very high. A lot of energy is needed, a lot of power is needed. So AI infrastructure is a very big market within which AI infrastructure hardware is there. So the AI infrastructure global market is growing rapidly. So $57 billion in 2024. Now it's at around $75 billion and it is expected to grow at 32% and is expected to reach $225 billion by 2029, just 2029. So this is a massive, massive opportunity. So this is where you see a lot of companies coming in. A lot of Indian stocks are already hyped and they are already generating very good returns. So we'll look into them in detail. So let's look at some more information about this industry. As I said, 32% CAGR is expected, which is massive. So if this industry is growing, if you pick the right stocks in this industry, you can basically run and ride this wave and make decent returns because this is a theme which is getting a lot of interest among the investors. Soon we might see FOMO and some of these data center stocks, infra stocks going up crazily. So, what is the demand driver? Of course, AI is disrupting everything. So a company can increase its revenues, it can improve its margins, it can improve its productivity by, it can also reduce the employee headcount. All of this is possible with AI. So companies are trying, experimenting. So this is what is happening. The CXOs are given enough budget by the company, by the board, and the management to experiment with AIs, and they have been asked to show significant improvement in profit margins or revenue growth. So everyone has got budget to invest in AI. So if you talk to any top CXO in a large company, they already have budget allotted for AI, and they have been experimenting. Either they are experimenting right now, or they finalized a few use cases and are building it right now. So overall, there is a rising demand for these high performance computing. So government is also funding to boost AI R&D. So there is a growing popularity of these tools across enterprises. So in terms of issues, there are compatibility issues, consumption of huge amount of energy, cost is an issue, accuracy is an issue, security is an issue. Despite all this industry is expected to grow to a $1 trillion industry, especially if the industry grows, you need strong infra. That is where AI infrastructure is a very big theme. So in terms of manufacturers, you have Nvidia, Intel, Google. India, in terms of end users, majority is used by Microsoft, Google, Meta, AWS, etc., who consume a lot of power. So let's go into the semiconductor aspect. So there is a surge in AI chip demand. So this industry is valued at $73.27 billion last year. It is expected to get to $1 trillion by 2034, 29% CAGR. Again, all these are data points from a research company. So the numbers can be here and there, but the potential is massive. The chips, AI chip is also expected to have very high demand because of the growth in generative AI. So if generative AI as an industry grows, then AI chip demand will also keep growing. So there is an increased demand for capable efficient chips, and there is an upgrade in major application markets, so which marks a new boom for the semiconductor industry. So let's look at more details about this. So semiconductors may be needed when AI-powered features are actually embedded and integrated within smartphones. So Intel recently unveiled the Gaudi 3 AI chip. So they are trying to compete with Nvidia and AMD. So Nvidia is a clear leader in this market with a 90 to 95% market share, and others are trying to play a catch-up game. So semiconductors, they have been given a tariff exemption, but still they remain costly because there is a tariff on raw materials like boards, data center equipments, etc., which is still creating impact. So companies are making some adjustments on the supply chain. So they are shifting their manufacturing assembly locations in order to reduce cost and maintain competitiveness. Now let's look at the AI data center market within the infra hardware. So the global AI data center market was at $14.3 billion last year, now at $18.2 billion. It is expected to grow to $157.3 billion by 2034, which is again massive. This industry is expected to grow at 27.1% CAGR, which is again massive. That is why, again, all the data center companies are having a huge run, and all these companies can continue to grow because of which they are trading at valuations that are insane right now. So when you look at traditional data centers, they tend to wait for new equipments to arrive, whereas hyperscalers have new capacity immediately available. So as mentioned earlier, a data center market is expected to grow exponentially. So major hyperscalers, large IT firms are the ones that expand their cloud and AI capabilities using powerful processors. So in terms of GPUs, so if you look at the market rate, so global AI data center market, this blue line is GPU. If you look at it, so GPU is the one that is showing very high growth. You can see the numbers here. So GPU is expected to grow at a GPU data center is expected to grow at a higher CAGR than the AI data center market. So Nvidia remains a leader in this space. They have 92% market share in data center GPUs. So the GPUs are the requirement doubled in 2024, and Nvidia is the sole beneficiary. They have 92% market share. So there are GPUs that are designed to handle the computation demands of modern data centers. Basically, you need a huge computing power because it is dynamic, challenging, lots of supply constraints are there. So there is competition for top tier GPUs. Now, if you look at hyperscalers like AWS, Google, Microsoft, they are the biggest buyers of GPUs. So hyperscalers help you to build cloud. So they provide cloud services even without you worrying too much about space, or it can scale in an easy and rapid way. So tech companies like Meta are also ramping up GPU investments. So there are competition. There is competition. Competitors like DeepSeek's R1 are coming. So they claim that they can use smaller, efficient models. But still, demand may not decline soon. The GPU requirement will remain high. So the data center theme will continue to remain a very good opportunity in the next few years. So Nvidia remains the leading data center GPU company. So it has 92% market share, but there are a lot of promising startups that are coming up in this space, and there are other established companies that are trying to make inroads. So record revenue is keeping Nvidia at top of this market. So they registered a revenue of $115 billion in 2024, up 142% YoY, which is again massive. That is why you see the stock getting rewarding its shareholders on a regular basis. Nvidia keeps growing, the stock price keeps running up. So let's look at the third category, which is we looked at infrastructure hardware. Now we look at infrastructure software. You need a lot of software to run the infrastructure. So they are classified into six different segments, subcategories. So data management, training and deployment, monitoring and observability, orchestration, data training and fine tuning. The last one is security. So let's look at these categories in detail. So the first one is data management and processing. So basically, what happens is you will, whenever you build a solution or a product using generative AI, the LLMs have to be fed with the right data. So right now you have a generic purpose chat GPT. Whereas if you build it specifically for a purpose, you have to feed the right data and train it properly. So you need to build a proper data pipeline, and then you need to label the data. So labeling, classifying, and curation of data can improve your accuracy by a far higher extent. And then you need to store and retrieve it at the right time. So data storage and retrieval is another subcategory. The last one in the data management is synthetic data creation. So basically, if you do not have enough data to train, you can create some mock data. So you can give some sample data and create a mock data, which is called synthetic data. The second category is model training and deployment. So model discovery, you have to identify which model is good for your use case. So for example, if you're building a product for stock market research. So maybe ChatGPT may not be the right one. Maybe Meta's Llama could be a better LLM for you. So you need to do the right model and choose. You need to do a discovery to choose the right model. Similarly, you have to do a lot of testing and evaluate if this particular model is working fine for this use case and doing well. You can also experiment and try with the different models, model experimentation and model serving. So the next category is app development and orchestration. So prompt engineering helps you to prepare the right prompts to send to the LLM. The second one is prompt caching. So basically, how it works is based on prior information, knowledge of past inputs. So whatever input is relevant to this particular new prompt, it will be available as prompt caching, which is where it will help you again to give better accuracy of results. So the third layer is orchestration and routing. So you can route the right message. You can do a proper orchestration, which can help you to improve your output. So the next one is app and agent platform. So these are platforms from where you can build apps, you can build agents without even doing any coding. So the next one is product analytics, which is typical analytics of your products. Next layer is security and validation. So there are different challenges in terms of security. So compliance has to be followed. For example, A is expected to be ethical, transparent by all the governments who are very particular about using AI in the right way. Similarly, there are multiple compliances like HIPAA compliance in the healthcare industry, ISO 27001. For example, in Europe, you have GDPR. So, whenever you use it, you have to comply with all of this. That is what the governance and compliance layer. And all the models you use have to be secured. Similarly, all the apps you use will have to be secured as well. So, all these are security related tools that help you to provide security. End user security helps you to protect your end users from any issues, any cyber security challenges. And then you also have to do monitoring and observability. So you have to keep monitoring and make sure that the models run properly without any challenges. It is accurate. It does not hallucinate. It also does not get trapped into any security risk. So all these are challenges, and you also have a lot of end-to-end fine-tuning and training platforms, which can basically help you to come up with better output. So all these are part of the infrastructure software category, where you need all these tools to run LLMs, to run AI, and come up with accurate results, better results, quality results, secure platform. So this sums up the infrastructure software category. The fourth one is vertical software. So you can basically build industry specific AI applications. For example, if you look at it, for example, you can take any industry, healthcare, finance, legal, accounting, retail, pharma, e-commerce. So if you keep building products for a specific industry, then it is called a vertical AI. So you can see these companies like Nabla, Peel, Holy, Berry are solving healthcare use cases. Similarly, in finance, you have Stock GPT, Agolo, Tom, all these companies solving the problems in the finance space. Accounting, you have tons of players coming up, and in legal, you have these companies solving specifically for the legal industry. So vertical software is about a specific industry where generative AI can solve problems in a specific industry. So generative AI is likely to disrupt every industry. It is not just specific to one industry. So for example, in the banking industry, it can add 200 to $340 billion. That's what is expected. And in pharma and healthcare, they can add from 60 to $110 billion. That is expected. So they can boost productivity by up to 50% in drug discovery, and they can reduce time to market by 30 to 40%. And they can increase profit margins by 15 to 20% in the drug discovery space alone. So if you look at retail industry, they can add anything between 240 to $390 billion in economic value. So it can increase the productivity in the e-commerce sector by up to 2% of annual revenue. So that is the kind of impact that is possible. So the disruption is real. Disruption across different industries is again real. So the opportunity is also very big when it comes to generative AI. So that is where if you find good opportunities in this space, it makes sense to invest in AI stocks. So some of the key players in India, Tata Elxsi, it is developing AI solutions for automotive, healthcare, and media industries. So L&T, so they provide engineering services with AI applications in industrial sectors. So Bosch is engaged in AI-driven solutions for mobility and industrial technology. So the potential is robust given the tailored AI solutions addressing specific industry needs. So vertical AI has huge scope because you typically get into an industry solving a specific problem, and then basically you are getting a foothold into their company, and then you can take giant steps in and increase your wallet and revenues. So vertical software has huge scope, and then the next one is horizontal software. So a product or a solution that can be used across multiple industries. So for example, Freshworks, it offers AI-powered customer engagement software. Zoho provides a suite of AI integrated business apps. So Oracle has AI solutions for financial services industry. So all these are not specifically for a specific industry. Instead, they can be used across industries except this Oracle. So the potential is very strong because businesses seek AI tools that can be applied across various functions that can improve the way they work. So Gen AI is expected to improve employee productivity by 66%, and programmers who are using generative AI could code 126% more projects per week. So it can improve a knowledge workers' performance by as much as 40%. So someone using AI tools can be more efficient. Companies using AI tools can become more productive, can improve their margins, can increase their revenues. So that is why this industry remains hot. So for every dollar spent on generative AI, adopters can expect to see a $3.71 return. So they can outperform their competitors in terms of efficiency, cost savings, customer satisfaction. So the next category is AI services. So this is typical of Indian company. Indian companies, if you look at it, we have been traditionally strong in providing IT services and not products. So we have so many companies in India which can actually tap this market. So this is a highly fragmented market. There is no clear leader here. Globally, Accenture, Deloitte are doing well. We have TCS, CTS, Capgemini, IBM like companies over here that have a small share of this Gen AI services. Others are the ones that are having 76% market share. So TCS is leading in AI services. So there are a lot of initiatives to integrate AI agents in operations. So Infosys is offering AI consulting and implementation services. Wipro is providing AI-driven digital transformation services. Happiest Minds. So they are focusing on AI and digital transformation services again. So globally, Accenture and Deloitte are doing well. Zensar Technologies is another company that is engaged in AI and cloud infrastructure services. Skelton Tech is also doing the same. So 3A Infotech offers the same. So the potential is very, very high as firms across sectors, across borders and industries are looking for AI expertise to drive innovation. So the last category is AI-enabled devices and robotics. So you can create devices with AI capability. So a global AI in robotics market is again expected to become huge from $15.8 billion in 2024. It is expected to grow to $146.8 billion, which means 28.12% CAGR. The forecasted market for 2023 is $146.8 billion, which is again massive. So this category also has huge potential. If you look at companies in India, Tata Motors is investing in AI for autonomous vehicles. Mahindra and Mahindra is exploring AI apps in automotive manufacturing. So potential, it's emerging. We have to see if these companies are really coming up with AI solutions. So there is an increase in interest in AI-driven automation and robotics. So overall, these are the categories and the potential. Foundational models high, infra hardware is significant, infra software is high, vertical software is robust, horizontal is strong, AI services very high, and AI enabled devices and robotics emerging. So this sums up the list of categories within the AI space. So if you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe for more videos like this. So we can also, subscription will motivate us and we can also provide more high quality content. If you have any questions, you can post it as a comment to this video. If not, you can also, in terms of, if you want to maintain privacy, if you do not want your name to be discussed, you can send your queries to investinggurukul@gmail.com. So this sums up our second video. So what is coming up next? In the next video, we'll talk about the listed Indian stocks across each category. So we discussed 7 different categories. So across each category, what are the different companies that are available? How are they performing? What are they doing? So we'll have this in our next video. Keep watching this space for more interesting videos in new era. So let's keep growing our wealth together. Happy investing. Keep following this space for more. The next part of this video series will come out live soon. Thank you.